Are you sick and tired of blowing money on Google, getting mediocre results, having to compete with people that have been there for a very long time and have huge budgets and, happen to not care that they're wasting a whole bunch of money on Google? Well, I've got some good news for you, because you have the opportunity right now. You can still get in early and start reaping the benefit of the Facebook machine and send yourself hordes of traffic, getting thousands of visitors to your brand daily. Facebook is probably, one of the strongest entities, at least online, I would say. And it doesn't matter what you're trying to sell. Okay, we all know that the internet is the best place to get more people interested in your business, hands down, right? The internet itself, almost 2 billion users online. Okay, that's crazy. That's an amount of exposure that businesses could have only dreamed of years ago. So the amount of traffic that you can get to your website is limited, really, only by your own dedication and your imagination. And so what I want to do is show you how you can take Facebook and use it as yet another fantastic source of even more traffic. Because I'm going to be honest with you up front here. There is no one single solution to what you should be doing to get your traffic. If you're only utilizing one source of traffic, you're cutting your own throat. Simple as that. You want to get the most traffic that you can, you have to use different aspects, different resources. And Facebook is yet another one of those. So the first thing we got to talk about is, what is Facebook, right? I mean, come on. Hopefully you know what it is. I hope I don't have to tell you what Facebook is. But, I mean, everybody uses it, right? But just in case you have not jumped on the bandwagon yet, maybe you happen to have just gotten your first computer last week and you just now found out what Facebook is. Well, we'll go ahead and explain it. It is a social network, and it is actually the largest social network. It allows people to connect and to keep up with each other. They can share pictures, they can share thoughts, they can even play games together. They can send messages back and forth. They can do kind of like a little microblog kind of thing and just update people as far as what they are doing, what they're thinking about. So it's a place for people to socialize. Now, just like with AdWords, Facebook can get you some really good traffic very, very quickly. What you're going to find, though, and this is like the icing on the cake, is that the traffic that Facebook sends you, you are more than likely going to find that it is better targeted and less expensive. Okay, think about what that means for ROI. If you're spending more money on Google and not getting the kind of targeted traffic that you need, and over here on Facebook, you're spending less money but getting more targeted traffic, think about the potential there. I mean, I love the fact that when I go to Facebook, because I use it personally, right? Just me as a person. When I go there, Facebook knows me. It knows my interests. It knows things that I talk about, what I'm into, and the ads that I do see are relevant to me. It's awesome. The demographics that they collect at Facebook makes it possible for them to basically give me a custom tailored ad campaign. So I go there, I see things that I care about. How cool is that? Now let's talk about AdWords for just a minute. AdWords did give us instant traffic. Okay, we had a huge potential for sales, and there was a time when, AdWords was like the thing and you could make a lot of money. That's the way it used to be. over the years, AdWords has proven that it really does have some major flaws. As the network has grown, there's been a lot of things come up that really, just cause a lot of problems, make it very difficult. There's a huge network of competition with AdWords. And the pricing there naturally just goes up, right? The more competition there is, the more competitive the pricing has to be, because AdWords works on a bid type platform. So the more people you get there, the more money that is going to be put up to beat out others and get better positioning. So it's become, kind of a headache to me, actually, and I've steered away from it altogether. The question is, can you walk away from the AdWords machine? And if so, how do you do it? Because the fact is, we've got to have traffic. We need to have organic traffic, and we need to have paid traffic. If you're serious about this business, folks, you are going to pay for clicks. That's the bottom line. So how do we get away from the AdWords machine when we need that traffic? Answer, simple. Facebook. It is cheaper right now, much cheaper. The traffic is more targeted, and the user base at Facebook grows every single day. There are a crazy amount of users on Facebook, and their new users are being added all the time. Okay, from some teenager hopping on to grandma and grandpa wanting to keep up with the family. Facebook is growing by leaps and bounds. In the next video, I want to talk to you about some of the reasons why Facebook is so stellar and how you can take advantage of those reasons. I want to talk to you a little bit about bidding strategies now. Facebook gives you two models, the pay-per-click and CPM, which is pay for impressions. You're actually paying for 1,000 impressions. Both of these types of advertisings offer their own advantages, but you do want to make some educated decisions here on which you decide to go with. The CPM model, which is paying for impressions, is very low cost bidding because it's not performance based. You're just going to get the exposure regardless, and you pay the same amount for the exposure whether or not you get clicks or not. It might be a good viable option for if you want to do some branding or something like that and you're not really concerned about getting clicks. If you want to get clicks though, then it may not be the best solution for you unless you have a killer ad. If you have an ad, like one of the things that I always tell people is if you do a pay-per-click ad campaign, right, and you find out that your ad gets like crazy conversions, then you may want to consider doing a CPM with it because you will actually end up paying less. Gives you great exposure. So, if you want to do a brand name, like I said, if you want to start generating buzz about a product, if you go, if you get an ad that's out there 162,000 times a day, it's hard for people not to notice it. And we're talking about a whole lot of page views on Facebook. If your niche is getting a lot of exposure, a lot of interest, and you can get that ad in front of the right people, the click-through rate on your ad can be phenomenal. And again, with the CPM model, that can be financially very beneficial to you because you pay the same rate for those 1,000 impressions regardless of how many times people click on them. That's why it's traditionally it's lower cost because the ad just shows. You don't really know if people saw it. You don't know even if if it happens to appear on the lower half of a page and they don't ever even scroll down, it still counts as an impression. So that's why it's a lower cost. But again, if you can get good placement and you can get the good exposure, it can be a great model. CPM or CPC is cost per click. this is where you bid, and it's performance based. You're going to bid a certain amount and you will pay if you get a click. Very easy to budget this way because you know that you paid a certain amount, and if you know your conversion rates on your sales or landing page and you know your profit, it's easy to calculate what you can spend on your CPC advertising. And you know, okay, if I get this many clicks, if I get 100 clicks, I will make 2 sales. And you can budget, effectively. You know what your profit is. If I make $15, $20 per sale, I now know how much I can afford to pay for those 100 clicks. When it comes to costs, you need to try your best to budget yourself and estimate something that is going to be, at least a reasonable facsimile of what you're actually going to be paying. Facebook is very good about adhering to what you say you want to spend every day. So understand, and that can be a double-edged sword, right? You can, if you're doing really well, you can actually cut yourself off in any given day if you set your limit too low. But it's very good because with a lot of other advertising opportunities, I won't mention any names, but their initials are Google, you can set a limit and they might not pull your ad in time and you can pay considerably more. They have attempted to fix that, at least because of a lawsuit. Let's talk about keeping the costs down. Limit the number of ads that you run, because keep in mind here, the more ads you're running, if you've got a certain amount of a budget that you want to spend daily, then, hey, you got to divide that up between all of those ads. Lower the daily budget amounts. Again, if you're on a budget, keep it down low. Facebook is going to recommend like $50 a day, but a lot of people have done well with much less than that. So, start out low and see how you can do. See if you can start making some money. And I always advise people, if you're first starting out with this and you're not sure about it, start low. And then when you do get the system perfected and okay, for every dollar I'm spending, I make $2. Well, then take some of that money once you get that first, ClickBank commission check, reinvest some of that and ramp up your advertising even more. Once you got a proven system, that's the way to go. Consider using the CPM model, especially once you find out how well an ad converts. And then also, you can lower your bid amount and see if you're still able to get placement. This is an effective way to, still get yourself in there, but not be having to pay so much. A lot of times what you'll find is that you go in there with a bid amount and beat out everybody else, and you're up there and you're in the first place and you're spending a lot of money. And if you cut your bid in half, essentially spending half the amount of advertising, you can still, you can still show up. You might not get the top position, but you'll still be on the page, and a lot of times your click-throughs won't even go down. So after you get yourself, usually what you got to do is get the campaign going, get yourself some impressions, get some data so that you can do some tweaking and testing, and then you start to make some adjustments so that you're spending the least amount that you can possibly spend and make the most out of that. Up next, we're going to talk about tracking.